So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the best outreach methods to get SMMA clients in 2019. Now, if you don't already know who I am, my name is Iman Gadzhi. I'm actually the founder of GrowYourAgency. We are a training business that helps people start and scale their marketing agencies. Now, let's get into the topic of this video, which is the best outreach methods in 2019. Now, obviously, with my training business and my YouTube and pretty much any social platforms, I get a hell of a lot of questions. And the one that really just makes me the most infuriated is this. What is the best outreach method if you are an agency owner? And here is why. It seems like everyone thinks that they have an answer to this question. And in reality, very, very few people do. And quite frankly, if you ask someone, hey, what is the best outreach method as an agency owner, and they give you a blanket statement, a blanket answer, you can basically just disregard that person, because it's quite clear they have no idea what the fuck they are talking about. Because if you went to a doctor and you asked the doctor, hey, what is the best medicine out there? And the doctor gives you a blanket, this is number one, this is number two, this is number three. Out of, just the plethora of medicines out there and alternatives and options out there, if they just gave you, oh, okay, I'd say this is number one, this is number two, and this is number three. Quite clearly, you wouldn't listen to that doctor, because that doctor didn't take the time to listen or ask you, well, what exactly is wrong with you? What are the symptoms? What is it? Have you tried any medicines in the past? What do you not respond well to? When someone comes out and they say, no, this is the best outreach method, and I see it time and time again, some schmuck will be like, no, this is the best outreach method, or no, this is the best outreach method. Cold calling is 100% the best method, or LinkedIn is 100% the best method, or cold messaging is the best method, or cold video outreach is the best method. No, networking groups are the best method. And look, at the end of the day, all of these work. All of them work. And they work for a reason. There is zero dispute that cold messaging, cold video outreach, cold email, cold calling, leveraging a personal brand, leveraging LinkedIn, leveraging, driving through your network and using referrals, all of this stuff works. Like using an automated client acquisition funnel, like a case study funnel. All of this shit works. All of it does. Which is why you can't give someone just a blanket statement, no, this is the best method. The best approach comes down entirely to what niche you're in, where in the world you're in, and what you're like as a person. So let's break this down further. So let's go ahead and start with the niche. Different niches respond to different things. If you're trying to reach a restaurant owner, a lot of the time cold calling works exceptionally well. Whereas if you're trying to reach, let's say someone like a dental practice and actually reach the decision maker, it's very, very, very difficult. I know that with my time with Knightsbridge Dental Care, who was a client of mine, we ran their social media and content. They were pretty much the last client I ever did that for. And I know personally from speaking to Marie, there's no way she would ever pick up a cold call. It was hard enough even just setting up a shoot date. She was that busy. Now whereas if you cold call, as I said, a restaurant or maybe a gym, that might be a completely different story. Now look, if your niche is you help coaches and consultants, maybe a cold video outreach, a Loom tool I always use, everyone within the Grow Your Agency community, I always tell people use Loom. Maybe that might be the best method compared to say something like sending them a cold message on Facebook, instead sending them an email with a Loom, because they probably get tons and tons of fucking messages and DMs, etc., etc. Whereas pretty much everyone, I can tell you from me personally, pretty much every business owner checks their emails and quickly goes through things, etc., etc. Whereas a lot of time, they have their team checking in on their social media platforms or whatever. All in all, you have to take these things into consideration. You have to ask yourself, what niche am I operating in? And within different niches. Now look, if someone said, hey, 100% LinkedIn is the best method for this niche, then I can start to be like, oh, okay, that can make sense. Same way if a doctor was like, these are the three best medicines if this is what's wrong with you and these are the symptoms that are starting to appear, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. It's just, as I said, I have an issue when someone makes such a blanket statement saying, no, this is the best outreach method for every single niche, and it's just not fucking true. So as I said, the first thing you gotta look at, start with your niche and just look at historically what's worked best for other people within your niche, and then just test, play around with it. Now, the next thing is where you are in the world. I remember doing a Q&A with one of my good friends, old mentor Bob. He was telling me in Holland, you can't even cold call people. Apparently there's a cold call, there's a directory. If you put your phone there, then you can't receive cold calls, and it's illegal. So quite clearly in Holland, cold calling isn't gonna work the best. Whereas say something like cold email, that might work exceptionally well. Now somewhere else in the world, cold email might be dog shit in a different market, in a different environment. Whereas cold calling might be, you know, the best thing you can do. As I said, you always have to identify what part in the world are you. Are you catering to Eastern Europeans, you know, more my origins, Russians, Polish, Bulgarians, or are you catering more to, you know, places like England, France, Germany, etc.? Or are you catering to the US? Or maybe you're catering to the Eastern Asian market. As I said, or maybe the Middle Eastern market. Like, you know, you always have to take these things into consideration. You have to look at where in the world you are reaching out to, and different methods around the world work differently. Now, the last thing you gotta ask yourself is, what are you like as a person? To give you an example, Esteban, who used to work for me full time as my sales guy, now he's part of the team at Grow Your Agency. He's one of the head coaches. That guy is killer at cold calling. On the phone, he is slick as fuck. Whereas typing an email, I know when I've tried to get him to do customer support sometimes, you know, he can be a bit of an idiot when it comes to email and very just clunky and whatnot. So, you know, someone out there telling him, no, dude, trust me, cold email or cold messaging is 100% the best thing. You know, that's just not true, because you have to look at what the person is like. Some people are so comfortable on the phone. Some people are so comfortable writing. Some people are so comfortable at networking and driving through people's networks and making that human connection. So it all just depends on the person. Some people don't fucking want to put themselves out on social media, build a personal brand, do all of that bullshit, deal with scrutiny, this thing, that thing, pull out the camera, shoot some videos for their Instagram in order to get more like real estate clients, or shoot a YouTube video on how to get results for real estate clients, do some bullshit on LinkedIn. You know, everyone's kind of different. Some people don't want to be in front of the camera at all. They are happy to hide behind email or cold calling. So this is all stuff you need to take into consideration, please. So to answer your question, what is the best outreach method in 2019? What I would do if I were you is start studying within your niche specific. Typically, you know, other people in your niche, like what sort of results are they getting and what outreach method is driving the best sorts of results. Now, after you do that, you know, you'll start to get an idea that, okay, you know, usually in this niche, these sorts of outreach methods work and these sorts of outreach methods don't. Now, once you've done that, now it's time to put that into practice and see which one works best for you. So please remember this: the next time someone tries to make a blanket statement that this is the best outreach method, just remember that's like a doctor saying, of all the medicines out there, and I have no idea what the fuck's actually wrong with you or what you're like as a person, I'm just gonna go ahead and say 100% this is the best medicine. You would look at that doctor as an idiot. In the same way, you gotta look at that person who is trying to preach that this one outreach method is the best outreach method out there. You gotta look at them like an idiot too, because you can start to see how there's more diagnosis that needs to go into it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you in the next one.